From Edgar Brown Stadium in Pasco, a trip to the Tacoma Dome is up for grabs. It's the 4A State Semifinals between the Richland Bombers and the Central Valley Bears. Good afternoon, and thanks so much for joining us today. Alongside Raul Vigil, I'm Rob Jesselson. Well, Raul, we have made it down to the Final Four. A trip to Tacoma is up for grabs, and we have two fantastic teams going at it this afternoon.
This is exciting football here in Pasco, Washington today. We got Richland Bombers versus CV. Two powerhouse teams that are scoring lots of points, but also get it done on the defense side of the ball, holding teams to very, very little scores this season.
It was Central Valley who actually pitched a shutout last week, getting past a very good Skyline football program. Why don't we talk about Central Valley? They have such a dynamic offense, and they're led by a fantastic quarterback, Grant Hannon.
Grant Hannon, a little unexpected this season as he was going to be doubling up with Matt Gabbert this year, but he has put the team on his shoulders, and he is doing it on both sides with running the ball and throwing the ball. He is a great leader for this team.
He ran for a pair of touchdowns in last week's win over the Spartans. Now, as far as Richland goes, they also have a fantastic offense. Last week, it was Parker McCary who got a lot of yards using his strength and his muscle.
Yeah, they really trust him carrying the ball. He gets 2, 3, 4, 5 yards each carry, so he quietly does it, and it's their go-to guy in the offensive line that's kind of quietly leading the way for them.
Absolutely. They'll certainly lean on those front five and McCary against a very good CV defense this afternoon. Who's going to the state championship game? Will it be the Bears or will it be the Bombers? We'll find out next. It's Central Valley and Richland right here on SWX. Well, we are just about set for kickoff here at Edgar Brown Stadium, the 4A State Semifinal. Richland and Central Valley, both teams being introduced to the crowds this afternoon. And we're not just talking about starters, we're talking about the whole roster being recognized before today's semifinal game. It absolutely is. For now, why don't we send it down to the third member of our broadcast today, Kelly Hinseth, will be down on the sidelines. Hi, Kelly.
Hey, guys. Well, talking about the history between these two teams, last year, this is the fourth meeting between Central Valley and Richland. Last year, it was Richland who pitched a shutout over the Bears, 37-0 in an MCC GSL crossover game. This is the first state appearance for the Bears since 2015, and you guessed it, in 2015, it was Richland who knocked him out of the first round of the state playoffs. Now, before the game, I asked Coach Butner, coming in with the history that you have against the Bombers, is there a bit of a chip on the shoulder attitude against them coming today? And he kind of brushed it off and said, we don't really dwell on the history. We kind of just attack week by week. But looking at the records and looking at the scores between these teams, Richland has held them to just 1.5 points over the past 2 years. You got to think that's got to light some sort of fire under the belts of these Bears players. So certainly in for a great matchup. The winner gets to go to the Tacoma Dome. But for now, I'll send it back to you guys up in the booth.
Thank you, Kelly. Well, like she said, this is a rivalry that isn't very old at all, and it's really been Richland, at least in the last 2 games, which happened in the last 2 years. It's been the Bombers who have controlled this series thus far.
Yeah, they've really taken to it to Central Valley the last couple of years, and this is something Central Valley players don't forget, because there's a lot of guys on that roster over there that are using this as motivation. I'm sure they posted it on their workout in their weight room and their locker rooms of what the scores were last year, and they're just using anything they can for motivation. And right now, both teams have looked really good this season, so I'm expecting a tough battle tonight.
And you can tell that Central Valley certainly did hit the weight room in the offseason. Just by the eye test, they have some guys who certainly have a lot of size to them and strength as well. And it's been evidenced throughout the season so far. Besides for that first week loss, they've been perfect ever since.
Yeah, they've done a great job. Like you said, they got a lot of big guys, a lot of athletic guys, and Richland maybe not have that same size, but they got a lot of fight to them. they are very, very feisty, especially on the defense side, causing lots of turnovers, especially here in the postseason. It's been about 14, 15 turnovers that they've created in the last 3 games, which is very impressive.
12 interceptions for the Bombers in their last 3 games. That secondary has been all over the football field. Well, it was Richland who won the toss, and they elected to receive. So it'll be Micah Mason who will handle this opening kickoff as we are just about ready to get set here for the 4A state semifinal. Richland, of course, this is the third straight year they've played in a semifinal game. Last year they won and made it all the way to the championship game and came up just short against Camas. And on the way to the Tacoma Dome, they were able to beat the Central Valley team, as we just mentioned, in the MCC GSL crossover. It was the Bombers who won with a 37-0 victory. So not only have these two teams played each other the last 2 seasons, that also means you've got players who are well familiar with each other as well.
Absolutely, and like I was just talking about a little earlier, is it's used as motivation. I mean, that getting shut out by any team at any point in the season is no fun, but you know, to continue in the playoffs, that's very, very memorable, and these guys are going to use that today. And Richland looking for their first undefeated, season ever. So that's some other motivation that they have. And, I think both teams are both coached very, very well and has been in the film room quite a bit, even though it's been Thanksgiving. I know that they're still out there practicing.
They certainly were. Both teams actually had fantastic Thanksgivings. All right, we are off the 4A state semifinal. And it'll be Cody Sanderson who makes the grab at about his own 10-yard line. He'll keep it through the middle, finds a nice seam. Cody Sanderson taken down at about the 35-yard line. Pretty good start for the Richland Bombers.
I mean, he had a hold there. That was probably the last defender before he was matched up with the kicker there. And he was lucky to make a great tackle there, and pretty good field position for Richland.
Why don't we take a look at some of the impact players for the Bombers offense as we take a second look at that nice return from Cody Sanderson. So 1st and 10 at the 35 is where Kate Jensen and the Bombers offense takes over. And they'll give it to McCary. Parker McCary on his first carry of the afternoon has nowhere to run.
Well, that's one of their main guys that they're going to be looking for all game long, and they're going to look to get him going. He's not a kind of a guy that gets off quickly with big numbers. He just kind of grinds, and in between the tackles and the guards, and does a good job for them.
That was Johnny Finn in on the tackle. Jensen to throw, has it tipped, but it's caught by Sammy Cervantes, but nice coverage there by Beck Martin and the Central Valley secondary. Impact players for the Central Valley defense: Jacob Lewis at linebacker, Beck Martin, we just mentioned, and Corey Quinn, a monster at that defensive end position. So 3rd and long for the Bombers. Jensen with all day to throw. He's going to be taken down. Corey Quinn.
Yeah, who we were just talking about right there. He's had a monster postseason here, creating a couple interceptions at that D-line position. Also tip ball for another turnover. This guy is all day long, and he has the ability to pass rush, to set back, and to even defend some players as well.
It looks like Kate Jensen had a lot of time to make a decision, and he held onto the ball for just a little too long. High snap. Josh Mendoza just gets it off to the very scary Austin Tomlinson. Takes it on the hop, trips up, cross midfield, and that's where Central Valley's offense will take over. For the first time this afternoon, we talk about field position and Central Valley winning that battle so far early in this one.
Yeah, a little 3 and out there by Central Valley. That's exactly what they wanted to do right now. They put them in a pass situation on 3rd down, and they have some very good DBs out there to cover man for man and a little bit of help over top, and we're able to create that turnover and a nice little punt return there by Austin Tomlinson.
So Grant Hannon, all by himself in the backfield, has 5 receivers to his left, and he'll look to throw. He slings it out to Hunter Chodorowski, who is going to be taken down near the 45-yard line by Tyler Fishback.
Like you said, empty backfield, but kind of setting up that quick bubble screen pass to Chodorowski, who is a running back, and was able to get a few yards.
Impact players for the Bears offense, Hunter Chodorowski, Ryan Harper, who also gets some carries, and Austin Tomlinson, who is certainly a dynamic receiver, comes in with 50 receptions on the year. So 2nd and 8. This time they'll sling one out to Tomlinson, who cuts back, and Tomlinson across the 30-yard line picks up almost 15 on that play.
There you go, seeing a similar play back-to-back, going quick bubble screen to the wide receiver and get a nice first down.
Impact players for the Bombers defense, Adam Weisenfels, who of course had a big day against Gonzaga Prep last week, Ryan Piper, and Jax Lee, the MCC's lineman of the year. 1st and 10 after the big pickup by Tomlinson. He's going to get it again this time and tips it to himself and breaks a tackle down the sideline. Austin Tomlinson showing just how good of a player he is on this first drive.
Well, he bobbled that thing 2 or 3 times, and good thing for the other receivers out there, setting some good blocks. You got to have a lot of trust in those other receivers to set those blocks and give you some time, and they did just that, because if not, that could have been costly, but they get another first down.
1st and 10, Central Valley in the red zone. This time, Hannon will sling one out again to Tomlinson, who makes the grab. He's going to be taken down by Weisenfels, and early on, this Central Valley offense making high percentage throws for their quarterback, Grant Hannon. He's been looking towards Austin Tomlinson a lot so far.
They must have seen something they really liked out there, a matchup, or they're really putting Corey Quinn out there. He usually comes back in a tight end set, but he's out there as a wide receiver, and he's just doing a lot of work in the blocking department today.
2nd and 3. Hannon will give it to Chodorowski, straight up the guts. He's going to be stood up by Victor Strasser, but it looks like that run will move the chains.
This CV is going to be a tough offense to stop, especially with their ability to get laterally. It really causes some confusion in the defensive end. They don't know who to guard. So much holes and space for them to go up the middle now, and that's the complement of the run and the pass.
The CV team certainly has a lot of weapons. 1st and goal from the 6. Hannon will keep it himself. He'll be brought down near the original line of scrimmage. Nice job there by Casey Perriman. Number 4 in on the tackle.
This is really when Richland likes to kind of tighten things down, and they're hard to score once they get in the red zone. And if CV can come away with any points, it's a good thing for them.
So Hannon actually lost a couple of yards on that last run, so that'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 8. This time he'll give it to Chodorowski, and not much room to run on that play either, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
3 plays right up the middle for Central Valley, and Richland bringing an extra guy into the box and expecting a run, so wouldn't be surprised if they go to the air this time. Maybe roll Grant Hannon out to the flat and see what they can create.
Hannon all by himself. 5 receivers to the wide side of the field to his left. He'll keep it himself on the draw. He's going to be taken down. Casey Perriman in on the stop, and that'll bring up 4th down.
It was a great job by Richland's defense of doing exactly what I talked about, kind of tightening everything down and not allowing Central Valley to get in the end zone. Central Valley likes to score touchdowns when they get in this area, and Richland doing a great job of possibly holding them to 3 here. Still has to complete this kick, though.
So that'll bring in Landon Rico, who will attempt the field goal. It's up, and it is good. So Landon Rico from just over 20 yards out splits the uprights and gives the Bears their first lead of the afternoon. But maybe the bigger story of that drive, Raul, was Richland's defense coming up with a big stop when their backs were against the wall.
Yeah, CV making it look easy, driving up the field, going first down, and then getting stopped there right once they got inside the 10. Great job by Richland to come to stop them and only allow 3 points.
We'll take a quick break. We're back with more right after this. So 3-0 Central Valley with the early lead here about midway through the first quarter, and they will kick off, and this one will be short, and it'll land out of bounds. It was Micah Mason who was kind of attacking that Central Valley sideline and took a bad hop, and
that's a penalty. I mean, it's one of those things where you can keep it out of those dangerous guys' hands, especially if your kicker doesn't have the leg to get it there. You kind of put it in a hole, make them call a fair catch or get a short return as not the return man, but now they're getting the ball on the 35 as opposed to, anywhere on the 20, 25-yard line, and they're a little bit better field position.
They'll take over at their own 35-yard line. On their first drive, Richland went 3 and out. Jensen will give it to Parker McCary up the gut. A nice run there by Parker McCary, picking up 6 yards on first down.
There's again Parker McCary just being patient behind his offensive line, and when he sees a hole, he hits it pretty hard. He doesn't go right or left. He just sticks his foot in the ground and goes.
McCary ran for 170 yards on 29 carries in that win over G Prep last week. He'll get it again this time, runs it outside, trying to find the edge, and he'll be taken down about a foot short of the first down marker. Parker McCary showing not just his strength, but that speed, getting to the outside on that play.
Yeah, doing a good job of getting outside the tackle there. And again, Richland's offensive line, maybe not the biggest, but they put in a lot of work out there, and they communicate very well and are very disciplined in football.
I have to apologize because I said he came down short of the first down marker, but they're going to give it to him. McCary this time, once again, trying to get to the outside, spins his way forward.
Looks like we got a flag on the play. That's usually the area of holding or some sort of illegal block.
So we get our first call of the afternoon.
On the foul, repeat first down.
It's a holding penalty against Ryan Kriskovich of Richland, and penalties was a thing that certainly hurt the Bombers last week over in Spokane against the Bullpups.
Yeah, they had a lot of big plays called back, and it was a very, very tight matchup, but if it wasn't for penalties, that game could have been a totally different story. But they have to play within the game, and I know the coach probably talked to them all week long and maybe even ran a little bit extra with all those penalties, but they wanted to definitely make that an emphasis of today's game, and right now getting an early penalty in the first quarter is not what they want.
That'll set up 1st and 21. Jensen to his right, and he overthrows his man. He was looking for Connor Fauché as another penalty flag is thrown late.
That looks like on the defensive side, or it could be
number 71 on the offense.
I was wrong there. Usually that's the area where defensive holding happens, but I guess if an offensive lineman gets up the field a little too far, you're going to see that flag thrown. And right there, when you roll out a QB like that, the linemen have to stay on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and if they get too far, they're going to call that. Only so many guys can go downfield, and those are eligible receivers.
So now it'll be 1st, and from here to Kennewick. Jensen out of the shotgun. Looking back, he finds Josh Mendoza, who's hit immediately by Austin Tomlinson.
That's a great play there by the defense, not giving up too much. Usually they're going to play a little softer, but right now you see Central Valley just playing very, very aggressive in this situations. There's not a lot of play calls, so looked like they were faking a screen to one side, coming back the other way, and hoping that Central Valley would bite on it, but they did not.
They lost 5 yards, so it's 2nd and 32. Jensen steps up in the pocket and he's looking for Mendoza, who makes the grab. Josh Mendoza is going to be taken down at around the Central Valley 35-yard line. On 2nd and 32, the Bombers pick up nearly 45.
Oh, what a huge play there by Cade. You've seen his arm strength right there, just hitting in the cover 2 hole perfectly. The safety up top not doing a good job of being in position, and Cade Jensen taking advantage of that. And what a huge pickup, because that was about, like you said, 3rd down and 30 yards.
So the Bombers in Central Valley territory for the first time this afternoon. Jensen looking to throw again and just tosses one up, and nobody in the area. Looks like maybe just some miscommunication between Jensen and his receiver.
I think so. He thought it was a go route. And usually as a receiver, sometimes you have the option to stop if he's playing a little too far deep, but there was no time to guess on that one because he was getting ready to get lit up as he took a pretty good hit after he released the ball anyways.
So after the incompletion, that'll bring up 2nd and 10. And this one will go to McCary off the left side. McCary breaks a tackle down the sideline, and he'll pick up the first down. Parker McCary really attacking that left side so far in this first quarter.
Yeah, that's some good running right there as he shed a couple tackles, and he just keeps his feet moving as he takes them out. He doesn't stop. He doesn't try to make guys miss too many times. He just runs through arm tackles and has that great knack for getting those first downs.
He's certainly a tough runner, and that'll bring up 1st and 10 now. McCary will get it again, and this time Central Valley does a nice job of holding him to maybe just 1 yard. I'll tell you what, Raul, it almost looks like those snaps are going right to McCary.
Yeah, sometimes they do that, so it's a second sooner. But also when it comes to Cade, he has that run read option, so it's almost like they're both getting it at the same time, and he has the decision to keep it or to hand it off.
2nd and long. Jensen feeling the pressure, now rolls out to his right, and he's going to be brought down. They're going to say he's down. He's going to be tackled by Brian Monroe.
Great pursuit there by Central Valley. Wow, they had about three guys back there, had an opportunity to get him. Kate Jensen was able to break that tackle, roll out to outside, but there's just another Central Valley defender there waiting for him as he takes him down tough. And let's get a good look if he was down there. Yeah, it looked like his knee hit down and went down a little awkwardly. And he's a tough kid. It takes a lot of hits and just keeps on ticking.
We are seeing the speed of the Central Valley front 7. We've already recorded a pair of sacks in this first quarter. So a loss of 14 brings up 3rd and 24. Jensen looking long for Cody Sanderson, who makes the grab. Touchdown, Richland.
Wow. What a play there, going up the right to the sideline. Just a nice fade route or go route is what they call it. The receiver doing a great job of giving himself space between him and the sideline. You're going to see here in a replay. Great thrown ball there, and you're not going to see that quick little nudge there that he gives them because he does it early enough in the play. He's able to create some separation and come down with a nice looking touchdown there for Richland.
Adam Weisenfeld's extra point attempt is up and good. So Jensen to Cody Sanderson on 3rd and 24 from 40 yards out. They connect as Richland scores the game's first touchdown and takes a 7-3 lead.
Well, Central Valley doing a great job defensively, but unable to convert on those 3rd and longs. Richland coming up with 2 huge plays, and we're seeing another replay here. Just a great thrown ball right to the front pylon, kind of a back shoulder, letting them just run to the end zone, getting 1 foot down, 2 foot downs. That would have been good in the NFL.
For Sanderson, that is his 6th touchdown grab of the year. Puts him well over 300 yards receiving. And Sanderson's actually a pretty interesting player for this Bombers team. More known for his abilities on the basketball court. And last year decided to focus more on basketball and didn't play football, and then saw how much fun all these guys on the team have and decided over the offseason that he was going to join the football team, and has just been another weapon that Cade Jensen has utilized throughout the year.
Yeah, when you see a team that goes to the state championship and just comes up a little short, coming back with a bunch of those players, yeah, why not jump on a pretty good team? And he's just been helping out this team be even better now.
He certainly is. He brings a lot of size, actually, to a receiving core who is really more known for its speed.
Yeah, 6'3", 190, that's not a bad size, and kind of throw it up there, give your receiver a chance. And what I'm impressed about is we didn't get to see on replays. When he's running down the field, it was actually pretty good defensive coverage. He's able to lean into him just enough to get him out and create separation before the ball gets there, and not do it. If you do that right before the ball gets there, you're usually going to be called for offensive pass interference, but he did it with enough time, and that's not easy to do. So that's taking some of his basketball abilities and using it here in the football.
So Weisenfels will kick this one off, keeps it short, and it'll be taken about the CV-20, and that's Tomlinson, who's taken down near the 30-yard line. Austin Tomlinson, a guy who we've seen make plays on both sides of the ball so far in this one, Raul, but he's also a guy who can make plays on special teams as well.
Yeah, he has a few punt returns for touchdowns this season. And he's very dangerous when he has the ball in his hand on the way there. So they like to get into him often and early.
You know, a few weeks ago, he gave the Hanford Falcons punting unit fits. In fact, he ran one back against Coach Brett Jay's bunch in that MCC GSL crossover victory. So 1st and 10 from their own 30. Hannon rolls to his right, tosses one out, and that's going to be caught by Caffrey. And he's going to be taken down by both Josh Mendoza and Adam Weisenfels.
It was an interesting play call there. It looked like a similar play. You can see him roll out this time, and he hasn't been doing that. He gets it into their hands quickly, but when he doesn't get it as quick, Richland has the time to shed those blocks and get into good position and create a loss of yards there.
Loss of 2, bringing up 2nd and 12. This time they'll keep it on the ground to Chodorowski, who breaks a tackle. Hunter Chodorowski will pick up some of those yards that they had lost on the previous play and now makes it a 3rd and manageable.
Chodorowski, another one of those players that kind of likes to just pound the football and slowly get some tough yards, and he just gets better as the game goes. And if they can block for him pretty good, and he can have a lot of success tonight.
Chodorowski listed at 6 feet, 190. 3rd and 7. They bring Harper in motion. Pressure coming up the middle. Hannon loses the football, and it is recovered by the Richland Bombers. And we're going to have a late flag, but Raul, it looks like the first turnover of the afternoon is going to give the Bombers possession.
I think you're right. That flag came out a lot late. It could have been after the play, some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct. We'll see here by the ref.
The result of the play is interception recovered by Richland, fumble recovered by Richland. First down, Richland. Sideline warning on Richland.
Well, they just were excited on the sideline, and you can't be in within a certain distance from the sideline as it's dangerous for the refs there. But I think that
was Victor Strasser and Casey Perriman who applied the pressure, and I think it was Strasser who forced the fumble, and Cubby Stanfield was Johnny on the spot and able to pounce right on it.
Ball security has got to be an emphasis for Central Valley moving forward.
1st and 10 Bombers. Jensen looking to throw, looking deep again for Sanderson, who has that pass knocked away at the last second. That was great coverage by Dawson Jordan.
Well, he was not the best position, but he's able to make good recovery and create a great defensive play there, as it looked like Richland was getting ready to score again, and he just gets his hand in there at the right time, and great defensive play there by reading the receiver's hands and making an awesome play.
So 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Jensen out of the shotgun. He'll sling one outside to Weisenfels, who makes his first grab of the afternoon. And Weisenfels will pick up 4, maybe 5 yards.
Weisenfels, not the biggest of players, but he is a very athletic, shifty guy and can make guys miss. And he's also makes big plays on the defense side of the ball as well.
Had 2 interceptions and a forced fumble last week. 3rd and 5, Jensen outside to his receiver, which is caught by Christian Matheson. And Matheson picks up the first down plus more, taken out of bounds near the 11-yard line. Good for a first down.
Great job there by Richland receivers and coaches as well, as they send a guy deep, and they've beat him a couple times, so there's a couple guys back there. Make sure they don't get beat deep, and for getting the guy underneath where he's able to catch it and then run for those extra yards to get that first down.
So the Bombers are in the red zone after the big play by Christian Matheson on third down. McCary keeps it himself, spins forward, and that's another nice run by Parker McCary. You know, I got a chance to talk with him earlier this week, and McCary's one of those guys who's gotten stronger as the season has gone on. And I asked him about that. The first thing he said is those 5 guys up front, that offensive line, are really playing the best that they have all season long.
Yeah, and it definitely could be. It's a good job as a running back to be able to give them those credits and deserve it. Look like they're going to score again here.
So as time runs out on the first quarter, the Bombers are in business. Will they be able to punch one in? We'll find out. Second quarter coming up right after this. Well, before the first quarter ran out, it was the Bombers who had the ball inside the 5-yard line, looking to extend their lead.
Second down, 3 yards to go for the Bombers from the CV 4-yard line.
It'll be 2nd and 3 for Richland. Jensen this time will give it to McCary, trying to find room to run on the left side. Finds the edge and easily gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Parker McCary. The Bombers put the ball in the end zone for the 2nd straight possession.
A little off zone there, off the tackle. Just doing a great job of those linemen getting off of the ball and sending CV back a few yards and opening up that huge left side there for McCary and walking it in and converting off of another turnover. So big time there for Richland. Is able to create a turnover like they have been this whole postseason and then add points on top of it.
Weisenfeld splits the uprights, giving the Bombers a 14-3 advantage as McCary gets to the outside and scores from 4 yards out. He's looking right at you.
Coming to you at home. Richland doing a great job right now, and they're not dominating as the score is looking. It's just that one turnover there by Central Valley. They've both been doing a pretty good job offensively of been able to move the sticks, and Richland just doing a better job of taking advantage of that turnover.
Pretty good shot of the Richland student section. They are certainly energized for this game. They should be well rested. Didn't have school for the last few days. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And you mentioned it earlier, both these teams got a chance to practice on Thanksgiving. And Richland, I know, they practiced in the morning and then had a bit of a feast at the practice field.
That's fun for your team when you're playing in the postseason. It's like, I'm a little bummed that, had to practice on Thanksgiving, but the whole bigger picture of it all is always worth it.
That one's going to bounce out of bounds. So Adam Weisenfeld's doing what he typically does with the short kickoff, but this one is going to roll out of bounds, and Central Valley will take over at their own 35.
Well, Central Valley is going to have to, I think, do what they were doing earlier, kind of move the ball laterally, get into the playmaker's hands quickly, which will open up the middle of the field for Chadarowski here in the second quarter.
The Bears will begin first down and 10 yards to go from their own 35-yard line.
So after giving the football away on the first turnover of the game, Grant Hannon and his Bears offense will try to respond. And this time we'll give it to Chodorowski. And Chodorowski, with a flag on the play, has got nowhere to run, and he may have lost a yard.
That was great pursuit there by Richland. As you look at the crowd there, it's 10 guys there for Richland around the ball, and they really emphasize running to the ball, because you never know what's going to happen. Broken tackle out the backfield, and you know they're that type of football that's they're not going to stop for anything.
Holding, offense number 86. Enforcement will be for the spot of the foul, 10 yards. Replete, first down.
So the holding penalty will go against Corey Quinn. And that'll force Central Valley to be in a first and long situation.
It didn't hurt for Richland, as they were able to convert on some of these long conversions. We'll see what happens here for Central Valley.
First and 22. Hannon will keep it himself, and nice tackle made there by Cubby Stanfield. That's a nice job. I mean, Stanfield at the defensive end spot has got a tough assignment today.
Yeah, he really does. It's, you know, that run read option between the quarterback and the running back, which they both are very dangerous on their feet, but then also sometimes he comes off of the line and moves laterally, chasing those bubble screens. So he does have a tough assignment indeed.
Hannon picked up one on that last carry. This time he will throw it, and that one's too high for Micah Mason.
Got to give the credit for that D lineman there, getting his hands up, was able to make Grant Hannon change the trajectory of his throw.
He threw that one over Mason, who's listed at 6'4". Certainly one of the taller receivers for Central Valley. So that'll bring up 3rd and 21. Chodorowski in motion. Hannon feeling the pressure, escapes the pocket, and he's going to take off himself. Chodorowski will slide about 3 yards short of the first down marker. But you can see the athleticism from number 10 in white. Looks like the Bombers had him dead to rights, and he was able to make a play.
And did a great job of avoiding tackle. I thought he might cut to the right upfield. He had a little bit of room, but he might have saw that first marker and thought that he had a first down already, which is actually the original line of scrimmage. I'm not sure what he saw there. Usually he doesn't slide when he knows what he has to do.
So Austin Tomlinson will punt the football away. It's going to be taken on one hop by Weisenfels, and Weisenfels will be driven out of bounds across the 30. Looks like the Bombers faithful were hoping to get a late hit penalty, but the flag will not be thrown.
Well, it was interesting that Weisenfels took that, you know, off of bounce. That's always very dangerous, but in you know, avoiding it getting the ball rolling down into their own end zone, and then I got hit a little bit out of bounds, but it wasn't far enough out of bounds, and so you never know as a central defensive player. So they did a good job of not calling it there.
So the Bombers defense holds, and they force a 3 and out. We'll keep it on the ground with McCary. McCary is going to be hit near the original line of scrimmage.
I think that was Jared Whitby there coming in and filling in a little bit.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I apologize. That's right. The first time we've seen that two-back set. And Jared Whitby with his first carry of the game. He lost one. 2nd and 11. Pitch will go to McCary, and they're going to lose more yards.
CV's defense a little fired up from what has happened in our last 2 drives, coming out, doing a great job of getting in that backfield somehow.
Brian sorry. Go ahead.
No, they had 2 back set, like you said, and each one was accounted for. And the only thing I could have thought of is if they would have passed there, but TV's doing a good job.
Brian Monroe in on the tackle. 3rd and 17. Jensen again looking deep into coverage, and that ball is caught by Adam Weisenfels. What a throw by Cade Jensen, and even better catch by Weisenfels.
It's a great catch by Weisenfels. Coming up the middle and not having any fear at all. There's about 3 Central Valley Bears right there in defense, and I think the safeties actually thought that they might have an interception coming out. They'll come out of nowhere, snagging that ball through the air. What a great catch.
So on 3rd and 17, they pick up the first down. Again, McCary this time through the middle, and not much room to run. This Central Valley front 7 is certainly up for the challenge. They've answered the bell just about every time through this first half.
They've done a great job right now. It's just on those 3rd and longs that Richard is getting something they like in the secondary and coming up with those huge plays, and Central Valley's secondary has to kind of tighten things up.
2nd and 8. Jensen this time looking downfield and has a man. That's Sammy Cervantes who makes the sliding grab, and good for another first down.
Sammy Cervantes is another receiver that I like to go to quite a bit, as he has some pretty good size at 6'2", and not the heaviest guy, but can move pretty well. Has great hands and runs great routes, as you saw there.
They'll keep it on the ground this time. McCary to his right. Nice tackle there by Jace Edwards. It's not easy to bring down Parker McCary in the open field, but Jace Edwards made the nice tackle there on Parker McCary.
A good read by Jace Edwards, kind of shooting the gap there, and he's able to come up with a shoelace tackle, bring him down for a short gain.
2nd and 9. Jensen with McCary to his right will look to throw. Over the middle, looking for Piper, and that pass is picked off. Picked off by Central Valley. And they are going to have their first turnover of the afternoon. That's Braden Hamilton with the interception.
Well, this time they were up for the task, and a little bit overthrown there, which looks similar to the one they had up the middle. Just when Weisenfeld kind of was able to get up and snag that ball, this time Central Valley coming down with the ball and creating a huge turnover as Richland was driving on them.
They certainly were, and the secondary comes up with a big interception. Jensen just put a little too much air underneath that pass for Ryan Piper. So here's Chodorowski, and he's going to be bottled up by the defensive line of the Richland Bombers.
CV's definitely going to have to find a way to get some more first downs, come up with some big plays, and hopefully come away with some more points before halftime, as this game is definitely in Richland's hands right now.
Well, that first drive we saw Central Valley work the ball into open areas, especially to Austin Tomlinson. Now they're trying to establish that run game, and Chodorowski again with nowhere to go.
Yeah, we haven't seen those quick little bubble screens like we did on that first drive, and in that first drive, they were going first down. They put themselves in a couple second down situations, but they were getting some big chunk yardage, and we have yet to see that formation as they're going to, like you said, the run game a little bit more.
3rd and 6 for Hannon and the Bears. Richland showing blitz. They come with the pressure. Hannon is going to be taken down short of the first down marker.
Tough decision for coach here, but he's going to send that punt team out, as field position could be a factor in today's game.
It looks like Hannon was looking towards his head coach and wanted to go for it.
They do have the ability to go for it here, as they do that roll-out rugby-style punt.
And they've got the athlete to do it. That's Austin Tomlinson on 4th and 1. He will kick it away. Weisenfels will make the grab, and he'll be taken down immediately by Corey Quinn.
Well, another good job by Richland's defense of putting after that turnover, 3 and out. Well, Richland's ball.
Timeout on the field. We'll take a timeout as well. 14-3, Richland right now leading Central Valley. (14-3) in favor of the Richland Bombers. Just over midway through the second quarter here. Got to give a lot of credit to Central Valley. They came in droves from Spokane this morning.
Yeah, that's always tough taking a drive, no matter how long the distance is. You're sitting for over 2 hours on a bus before you come out and play, and it's a cold weather.
Parker McCary up the middle. Parker McCary in open space. McCary at the 30 will be taken down near the 25. Parker McCary with his longest carry of the afternoon.
Well, that's the way you want to come off a timeout break, is everything drawn up just like you like it and coming out with a huge run up the middle. Richland doing a great job going man for man. Once again, that second level, he's putting on the boosters and going. As you can see here, he kind of some arm tackles there and then off to the races now and make a few cuts, hang on to that ball.
Great work by the offensive line. It was Rene Marine Cuevas who got to the second level and threw a block. Jensen now looking deep. He's got a man. That's Adam Weisenfels who makes the grab. Touchdown, Bombers.
What a catch there. Weisenfeld again adjusting his body, doing about a 360, catching it back front shoulder, if you want to call it that. There's an inside of him on a corner route. Then he has the duties to come out and kick the football as well after he came up a little gingerly, as he has extra point duties as well.
25 yards on the scoring play. Weisenfels kicks it, and it is good. 21-3 on Jensen's second touchdown pass of the ball game. And like you mentioned, yeah, what a great job by Adam Weisenfels to make a play on that football. He got turned around the wrong way, was able to turn back. And
that's not easy to do when you're running full speed, and on a corner route, you expect to kind of get it up your front shoulder, and he throws it back shoulder by the inside of the of the field. He's able to do that 360 and come down with a really, really great catch. Now you're looking at the score of 21-3. That's going to change things a little bit for Central Valley and how you're going to be calling your offense. And this team hasn't played from this far behind. I don't know if all year they have, and they have the ability to score quick and often. I don't know how much changes, just maybe a little bit less run game. Still lots and lots of games to play, and anything can happen in this fun game we call football.
You know, now that I think about it, I don't think Central Valley has really taken too many shots downfield with the football.
Well, they have not. They've really been conservative in running the football and throwing it side to side. And I mean, the elements are not playing a factor in today's game. They have played on real grass in rain and snow, and they've used that to their advantage, but now we're back on turf, and right now Richland taking advantage of that.
That kick goes to Hunter Chodorowski, who will take it up near the 40-yard line. So Central Valley, with 5 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in the first half, will get some solid field position.
Josh White with the tackle on the play for the Bombers.
Now, just to play devil's advocate, because you got to think they're going to start taking their shots downfield, but you take a look at that Richland secondary, who has 12 interceptions in the last 3 games. 6 of those they've ran back for touchdowns. And, I mean, it's certainly a daunting task for the Central Valley football team.
Yeah, I'm sure we're not the only one that knows that stat.
Hannon keeps it himself, and Hannon across midfield around the 40-yard line. A nice run there by Grant Hannon. He picked up almost 20 yards on that run.
He does definitely have that ability, and when he can create some holes for him, he has the speed and make one guy miss and get upfield. And as he had I think an 84-yard touchdown last week.
This one's coming back. It's going to be a holding call against Central Valley.
Seems to be a story for Central Valley, and a few drives on today, as they've had a few plays get called back, and playing from behind the chains is a little bit tougher to do.
I think they're going to get the left tackle, Wyatt Wickham, with the hold. So just when it looked like Central Valley was in business, they get called for a holding penalty. That'll be 1st and 10 from their own 39. Hannon again will keep it himself, and Casey Perriman in on the tackle. The linebacker for the Bombers has done a nice job containing Grant Hannon so far.
And that's exactly what you want to do, is contain him. Not let him get to the outside where he can use his speed. You know, make him cut, make him make it that extra cut 1 or 2 times, and make sure your linebacker's coming in and kind of cleaning it up.
Perriman, one of the many all-conference selections for this Bombers team. 2nd and long, they'll sling it outside, and that'll be caught. Down the sideline was Ryan Harper.
We're seeing another quick pass there, and really relying on those extra receivers to get some good blocks and create some opportunities for these receivers and these athletes. Richland doing a great job of just kind of keeping everything underneath, making you cut back inside, coming out and making a tackle.
That was Jax Lee, an interior defensive lineman who ran all the way to the sideline and pushed Harper out of bounds. 3rd and 4. Hannon again will pitch it, and it's loose. And Central Valley pounces on it, but how about the defensive stand by the Richland Bombers front 7? It looks like it was Stanfield who made the initial contact with Hannon.
They're going to the option route. Grant Hannon decides to keep it, but maybe a little too long. And that allows the defender to come in right as he's pitching it. Not the greatest pitch. Almost coming up with another turnover, but Central Valley instead has the opportunity to punt it away.
So Tomlinson in punt formation once again. This time he will roll to his right, decides to punt it away. Weisenfels will let it bounce, and this is going to take a nice Central Valley roll. So the Bombers defense, after giving up 3 points on the first drive of the game, has really done a nice job of containing Grant Hannon and the rest of this high-octane Central Valley offense.
They have done a wonderful job, and although Central Valley has hurt themselves a little bit with those penalties, Richland is due a lot of credit for stopping this type of offense. As last week they saw G Prep, which is a completely different style of offense.
Yeah.
So having to come and scheme for another offense has been tough, but they've been definitely up for the task.
On first down, McCary again will keep it on the ground, but that was a nice tackle made there.
Was a nice tackle, as it looked like he might have another huge hole that he's going to be running for a few extra yards as he's using that cutback lane. Then his offensive line do the work. There's a small cutback lane that Central Valley's defender doing a great job of coming up with the tackle.
Beck Martin in on the play. Jensen looking towards the sideline, and his intended receiver was Sanderson, and that ball falls incomplete.
Just a little bit outside, as that's a tough timing route, as he's going on a comeback, on the outside comeback. And you're throwing it before he's even making a cut. So they practiced that, and that timing was just a little bit off.
So another 3rd and long situation for the Bombers. They have been nothing but fantastic in this first half in these situations. This time they'll sling it out to Weisenfels, who stays in bounds, falls forward, and it looks like he's going to have enough for the first down. Weisenfels had what looks like no room to run and was able to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, he definitely did. As he just made one small move to the inside and back out. As we'll see a great replay here. He's going to get tackled for what looks to be, like you said, stopping him from getting that first down. And he's able to make that little move and get it. That's a great move.
So on 3rd and 8, they pick up 9. And the drive continues with under 3 minutes to go. McCary again cuts upfield, and another nice run by Parker McCary. He picked up 9 yards. He's just one of those running backs that looks like he'll have nowhere to go, and he just finds room to run, and one of those guys who's always falling forward.
He has a nice little sidestep and doesn't stop moving his legs.
Jensen this time thought about going deep, now escapes the pocket, fires one incomplete.
Okay, Jensen's pass is incomplete on the play, intended for Adam Weisenfeld.
So that time it was Jensen who did a nice job of feeling that pressure and was able to
Third down and 1 yard
avoid
to go for
the sack.
From their own 39-yard line.
Yeah, well, great job here. Luckily, the offensive lineman hit that guy in the back, and Chase Edwards doing a good job of staying on his defender. As when you scramble, that's a tough thing to do, is keep up with those receivers when you have 3 or 4 extra seconds. He did a good job there.
3rd and 1. Jensen will throw, and he'll throw it deep, looking for Sanderson, and Sanderson can't haul it in.
Okay, Jensen's pass is incomplete.
It looks like a nice throw from Cade Jensen, and it was just off the fingertips of his receiver.
Yeah, it looked like he had an opportunity to catch the ball. I don't know if it got tipped there by the defender at all or bumped, but it was pretty good defense. Good throw. Opportunity, as we see a replay here. Great job, great shot.
So Richland will go for it on 4th down.
That's just off his hands, like you said. And I think me and you both would have thought that McCary was going to get that call on 3rd and 1. And maybe taking a shot and seeing if Central Valley was ready for it.
I think everybody here thought that Parker McCarrick was going to get the handoff there. But, yeah, like you said, and Richland just lined up as if they were going to go for it with that jumbo package that we saw last week against Gonzaga Prep. And we talked about it a little bit last Saturday about how in these situations, head coach Mike Neidhold kind of likes to gamble and go for it. And why not? Especially when you have the offensive line that's been having the day that they've been having, a lot of success on the running game.
Yeah, for an exception of the first 2 drives of the game, Central Valley did a good job of moving them backwards instead of forward. I don't think they've moved backwards very often, and McCary did a good job of being patient and following his blocks. And it's a zone run to the right, but that usually can come back to the left on that cutback because you're flowing so much that if you're patient enough, there's usually a cutback lane. He's done a good job of finding those lanes.
We sure have. And it looks like Richland's going to go for it with that same package. Direct snap to Whitby. Whitby will pick up the 1st down as he lowers a shoulder. And Whitby will fall forward. And he needed 1 and got close to 3.
Bringing in the big package as they had about 4 people in the backfield. And direct snap to one of their running backs.
It was Jared Whitby with the carry. He also had Parker McCary and Victor Strasser in the backfield as lead blockers for him.
It's a tough package to stop because there's so many guys that get the ball at the same time. It's another guy you have to be accounted for, and Richland doing a good job. 1st and
10, under 2 minutes to play. Jensen again firing deep. Sanderson makes the grab, and Sanderson will be taken down across the 25. Cody Sanderson came back to make that catch.
Well, I don't know if that's exactly what they're going for, but whenever you have the back shoulder throw, that's got to be strenuous on a DB as you have great coverage and you don't know where the ball's at. You're just trying to cover your man, and when he puts on the brakes, you keep flying by as he comes back and makes this grab. Almost breaks the tackle at that.
Sanderson drops one in for Ryan Piper, who makes the grab, and just like that, the Bombers strike again. Touchdown, Richland.
Strike again, and they strike quickly, too. 2 big plays there by Richland, taking shots down the field. And another look at this play and kind of pump fakes a little bit. What a catch there. Is this off his fingertips? Tips it to himself, bobbles it. He's able to come down with it in the end zone. A touchdown. He just gets behind the defense. Just ever so slightly. That's all he needs. And Richland looking good going into halftime. And Central Valley will have another opportunity here to score with 1:36. And they're going to need to score. Get the ball back at half, and hope for the best.
24 yards on the scoring play. Jensen's third touchdown toss of the afternoon.
Richland really looking good today. I mentioned a little bit earlier, I didn't talk too much about it, but Central Valley has been playing at home the last 3 weeks, and they play on the grass field. And it has been wet in Spokane.
That's right.
And that might have a little bit to do with what's going on right now. Who knows? But when you play on that type of field and come back to this environment, it's a lot faster than a grass field that's been rained on. We even got snow one week when they played Hanford. It was a snow bowl. And then the next week it was just getting poured on. And then they played last week against Skyline, and Skyline plays on turf as well. So they had that advantage there. And now coming back on the turf against a team like this could be a little bit of the factor.
So with 1:36, the Bears down 28-3 will get the ball back. And like you said, they'll have to basically essentially put points up on the board as they'll start with, once again, with some solid field position. Another one of those pooch kicks that was caught by Connor Caffrey.
Yeah, they definitely have enough time and good field position to drive down the field and put some more points on the board. But Richland, with this tough defense, has other plans.
So Hannon, with 91 ticks left on the clock, will throw it this time. And he's going to leave that one a few yards short. Looking for Jace Edwards, incomplete.
Grant Hannon talking to Jace Edwards a little bit, saying you got to make that break a little bit earlier. But that's going to stop the clock, and you throw the ball, incomplete passes, stop the clock, and give you plenty of time to talk about this and drop the next play.
So 2nd and 10, he's got 3 receivers to his left. Chodorowski in the backfield. Play action and hit as he throws. That one will also fall incomplete.
Richland dying up the blitz again as they're showing both linebackers coming in and bringing them. So it's not going to give Grant Hannon much time if they can't continue to find a way to pick this up. You spread the ball. When you spread the field out with 3 receivers up top, 1 down below, you don't have a lot of extra guys to block for you.
3rd and long. Hannon again to throw. This time it's in and out of the hands of his receiver, nearly picked off. Hannon was looking for Micah Mason, and that one falls incomplete. So another 3 and out with 1:16 left on the clock. Raul, looks like the Bombers offense may get another crack at it.
Yeah, Richland doing a wonderful job right now. CV showing play action. Richland really not having it on a 3rd and long. They're keeping their guys deep and is able to make a great play there as they have numbers in the secondary because they dropped their linebackers back as well.
Tomlinson loses a shoe, and it's going to be picked up by Tyler Fishback, but we have a penalty marker down. It looks like this one could be against
Personal foul, roughing the kicker.
He's going to talk to his fellow refs about this one. See, they finished the call. Well, I could be wrong. When I just heard it in the stands, and when the punter takes off and does that rugby-style kick, it's very difficult to decipher if he's a punter anymore, as he becomes a runner. And there's a certain box between the tackle and the tackle, and if you get outside of that, you can hit him. He's no longer a punter, and those rules do not apply to him. And I don't know if he got far enough out or if he was still inside the box, or the ref might have saw something different. Tough call there, and regardless, we got a 1st down for Central Valley.
1st and 10 after the personal foul. Hannon will look to throw over the middle, and that's nearly intercepted by Ryan Piper.
That would have been better than his touchdown catch. Diving interception. Opportunity there for him. This ball was overthrown.
Seems like, oh, he almost had that. Seems like on his last few throws down the field, Hannon has put a little too much air underneath it.
He's not really setting his feet as he looks a little rushed back there. As Richland is getting some penetration here and bringing us the linebackers again.
Bombers show blitz, and they're going to force Hannon out of the pocket, and they are going to take him down back at his own 40.
Richland just pursue play after play here. So they don't bring the blitz every single down, but when they do, there's just too much to handle.
It was Jacob Stanfield who made the first contact.
And then about 5 other Bombers back there.
Braden Powell finally took him down. And we're going to have a timeout called here.
Must be all right, Richland there to.
So after the timeout, Central Valley will be facing a 3rd and 22 situation. And if you're that Richland secondary, you have all those interceptions throughout the season. This is one of those times where you're kind of licking your chops and hoping that he once again puts a little too much air underneath the pass.
Yeah, and if you're Richland too, you don't shy away from being aggressive, and if you want to bring a blitz again, do it, because it seems to be working right now. And when you have this down and distance, which it looks about 3rd down and 22 or so, it makes it tough on the QB to hold the ball for an extra second or two so his receivers can get downfield. So if you put pressure on him, that ball could be up for grabs.
They've done a nice job applying that pressure so far. Again, they show blitz. They back off, and Hannon's going to keep it himself, and he is going to be taken down hard. And Richland will take a timeout.
That was a tough tackle. He stopped him in his tracks. He's able to pick him down and pick him up and put him down. As it wasn't quite excessive, as if he would have put a little extra into it and threw him on his head, then that could have been called, but refs deciding it was clean tackle.
As we take another look at this play by the Bomber defense.
Looks like a call play right up the middle as he stops him in his tracks. Goes for the suplex. Didn't get him up quite enough to get him on his head, which is a break for Richland. That could have been bad.
I think that was Caleb Chapman. You know, wrestling season hasn't started quite yet, but I know it is around the corner.
I actually think it did start.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, basketball started, wrestling started, and these guys just continue to play football. And I don't know if he's a wrestler or not.
I know practice has started for sure. Yeah. Tomlinson will kick it away, and Weisenfels will let it bounce, and he'll leave it. So with just under 30 seconds left in the half, we'll see if Kate Jensen and this Bombers offense are going to take another shot downfield.
Well, they're not scared to take shots. They've been doing it all game long, and right or left, they have 2 receivers that can go up and get the ball. And when those guys are covered, they've had big plays up the middle as well. Weisenfeld and by Ryan Piper. They got weapons everywhere, and I think you're going to see 3 plays, 3 shots.
They're up by 25 points, so I'm sure they're feeling confident, especially with the way this first half has gone. 1st and 10 from their own 21. Jensen will throw, and he fires one out to Weisenfels. Weisenfels racing for the sideline. He'll get out of bounds and stop the clock with 22 seconds left.
Keep them honest a little bit, as Central Valley's probably playing a little bit soft, so Richland taking advantage of the underneath route. Hopefully brings Central Valley down a little bit. But I suspect they try to keep everything in front of them and not get beat deep here.
So 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Jensen will sling one out to McCary. And are they going to call that a fumble or an incomplete pass? It looks like they're going to call it a fumble.
Well, if so, the play clock should be running unless there was a timeout called.
Kay Jensen's pass was ruled to be a backwards pass, recovered on the play by Parker McCary out of bounds.
So it was 2nd and 5. They lost about 8. And looks like Kate Jensen is just going to take a knee. And that's exactly what he'll do as time runs out. Oh, excuse me, we're going to have a timeout called by Central Valley. So a pretty savvy move there by Ryan Butner and the Central Valley team.
Well, they do have a good guy that returns punt back there. So
that's right.
Why not give your guy another opportunity? A block punt could happen. A lot of things could happen. So why not give your team that opportunity to return a kick, as 12 seconds is a good enough time to convert.
It looks like Central Valley still has 1 timeout remaining in the half. And at the very least, if you do get the ball back and say Tomlinson doesn't get the best return, at the very least, hopefully you try to get into field goal range because they have that great field goal kicker in Landon Rico.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And any points at this time could be crucial.
Talking with Coach Neidholz earlier, he was saying that Landon Rico might be the best high school kicker he's ever seen. He said Rico hit one, I think it was last year. And it was one of those kicks that he said he still sees in his dreams.
Well, he had one of his older brothers kick that 67-yarder a few years ago.
So Mendoza gets off a nice kick. Tomlinson will get a chance to return it, breaks 1 tackle, and Weisenfels and a host of Bombers are going to bring him down, and the whistle's going to blow. Tomlinson actually came out of that standing.
Well, the whistle's blew and Richland stopped pursuing.
First down, 10 yards to go from the Richland 45.
Because his forward momentum was stopped, but that's tough. When you're not a QB, a lot of things can happen.
Looks like Weisenfels was going for the football. Of course, last week against Gonzaga Prep, he had that great takeaway from Devin Culp in the last few minutes of the game.
The game sealed the game there.
So just over 4 seconds remaining. Hannon steps up in the pocket, throws, and it's going to be caught.
Wow.
By Micah Mason. He goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Central Valley.
Wow. That's why you call the timeouts. Very underthrown. Richland, instead of knocking it down, tries to catch it, tips it up in the air. Is able to catch it, run it into the end zone for a touchdown. Finishing this half. See a replay here. Steps into the pocket, does a great job. It's very underthrown here too.
It was Fishback and Mendoza who both went for the football and tipped it right into the hands of Micah Mason. So what a turn of events at the end of the first half, as the extra point is up and good. And it looks like the Bombers will go into the half with an 18-point lead.
necessarily the way you wanted to end the first half, but what do you tell the...
We had a malfunction on offense down here to give them the ball back, but we're okay. We're okay.
Yeah, the momentum has belonged primarily to you. I mean, how do you keep that going, mojo rolling? Kay Jensen doesn't seem to get shaken at all.
No, we're okay. We're okay. We got to regroup a little bit. Central Valley's good, and it's the state semifinals. Everybody you play, they're playing for Mondays too. So this is kind of normal for a game like this.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you,
Back to you.
So certainly an entertaining first half that was capped off by a crazy play that allowed Central Valley to score 7 points and get within 18 going into the locker room. But if you are Coach Neithold, you're probably not very happy with the way that half ended. It seemed like it was almost a perfect half for his team until the last few seconds.
Yeah, I think he thinks about kneeling the ball going into halftime at what it is, not suspecting Coach Butner to call a timeout there. And Coach Butner being a heads-up coach there and saying, hey, man, we have a good punt return team and, pretty good field position, so let's call a timeout. They punt, almost breaks the tackle, but is able to they're able to stop the clock. And, Richland was in great position. I mean, they did everything right except for knock the ball down. And, you see that so many times in football when you throw it up for grabs and someone tips it up in the air, and that's exactly what happens for Central Valley. And that's a huge play because they're getting the ball back here at second half. And if they go down and score, and definitely a game changer for sure because they'll be right back into this ball game.
The Bears get the ball to start the second half. And really that was the one big-time play that they had. I mean, that first drive, like you talked about, they were able to sling it outside to Austin Tomlinson, and they were able to really move the ball at will. And then from there, you talk about adjustments, and it was tough to see if Richland made any adjustments as far as their coverage went outside. But I think the biggest part of that Richland defense was that front seven applying some great pressure in Hannon's face.
Yeah, they started bringing up different types of blitzes. The linebacker came down, the safety rolled down a couple times, and really putting a lot of pressure on Grant Hannon. And Central Valley's kind of stopped going to that little bubble screen where they had success in that first drive. And I think they'll talk about it and maybe come back in a similar set or show it a little bit more as they were getting the ball to Thomason, Chodorowski even, really relying on those receivers to set some good blocks, and were able to move the ball. But Richland really doing a great job on both sides, not only defensively but offensively as well, coming up with huge plays as CV had them in third and long multiple times. They were able to convert on those plays with first downs and touchdowns as well.
So the winner of this game will head to the Tacoma Dome next Saturday evening, and they will play the winner of the Woodinville-Sumner game that's going on a little bit later on this evening. Woodinville and Sumner are two very good teams as well. And, I mean, obviously at this point in the year when you're down to the Final Four, it's going to be nothing but good football teams. And Woodinville and Sumner, that should be a good game tonight.
Woodinville is ranked, I think, throughout the year pretty much _1 and held that spot throughout. So they're definitely a tough foe, and they're favored in this evening's game. And we'll see if Sumner can pull up a little upset there and then get a trip to the Tacoma Dome.
We are just about set to get the second half underway. Adam Weisenfels will kick this one through the middle, be caught by Chodorowski, who will run to his left, and he breaks a tackle trying to find room to run, and he's going to be taken down just short of the 40-yard line, which I would say is about where Central Valley has had their starting position, around that mark on the football field pretty much all afternoon.
Yeah, pretty good field position, but Richland has been a tough defense tonight as they've been stopping them on early and getting good field position themselves. And I'm excited to see what Central Valley decides to come out with on this first drive.
Down 18, Hannon will give it to Chodorowski on 1st and 10. Chodorowski to the sideline across midfield. Chodorowski picks up about 15 yards on the first play from scrimmage to start the second half.
Great first play coming out, setting the tone on the offensive line position. They got good size in there. If they can get those guys going, they can get big chunks just like they did right here, and if they can stay away from penalties as well.
So 1st and 10, Central Valley in Richland territory. Again, Chodorowski, this time he's going to be pushed back, picked up about 2 yards. And this is a similar situation that the Bombers were in last week against Gonzaga Prep. They were up 21-7 at halftime. Remember, Raul, it was the Bullpups who kind of came out with their hair on fire and were able to tie it up real quick.
Absolutely. So Richland has to know exactly what they did last week and kind of set the tone. And right there on first down, they established line of scrimmage and they allow them to go anywhere. 2nd
and 8, so they'll keep it on the ground with Harper straight up the gut. Ryan Harper at the 30, carrying defenders at the 20, falls forward. Ryan Harper, his first carry of the afternoon, and it's a good one as the Bears are in business.
Well, right up the middle, 3 plays in a row, just going right off the left guard there. They like their linemen, and they have great size, and right now they're controlling it and working their way up the field. They're in the red zone. This is when Richland likes to tighten it up.
Central Valley threatening on their first drive of the second half. And Hannon's going to be hit immediately. Sacked by Jax Lee.
Wow, what a play by Jackson. That's why he's getting the recognition he's gotten this year. When Grant Hannon hands that off, they have an opportunity to get a few yards, but he decides to keep it on that one. Didn't know if he saw him or not. It's that run read option, and Richland doing a great job there.
A loss of 5 on the sack. 2nd and 15. Hannon will look to throw, and that one is nearly picked off by Victor Strasser. That was Braden Powell applying the pressure off the edge there for the Bombers.
Well, Victor definitely wants that one back. That one right off of his hands, and he got a little excited. Those are the tough ones to catch as Grant Hannon gets hit on as he's throwing. Puts the ball in the air and just doesn't read it quite right. As we see another replay here. Good job by the defensive line. 2 plays in a row. Get into the QB.
3rd and long. Tomlinson in motion. Hannon drops back again, feeling the pressure, and he's nearly picked off again. That was Jacob Stanfield who had that pass hit both hands and fall incomplete.
Central Valley looked like they had a good play set up there as a screen play. Richard realizing that there was too many guys there in the backfield, was able to get his hands up quickly. That's a great play there by number 52. As it looked like he failed, popped right back up and almost came up with an interception. But 4 down territory here for Central Valley.
It'd be nearly a 40-yard field goal, but Coach Butner is going to go for it. Hannon throws it deep towards the end zone. It falls incomplete. And the Bombers force Central Valley to turn it over on downs. And right when it looks like the Bears had something going offensively, it's that Bombers defense who holds them.
And this red zone, those defenders stiffen up and they come and bring it. I mean, every single time they're down there, they gave up some good chunks there, but that didn't let them phase them at all. Put them in 4th down, was able to turn over the ball and give their offense an opportunity to extend their lead.
So a big stop by the Bombers defense, just over 10 minutes remaining in this 3rd quarter. They'll keep it on the ground with McCary. McCary with a nice response. McCary will pick up 16 yards on that play. So Parker McCary on his first carry of the 3rd quarter with another nice run.
Yeah, another great run, actually, on 1st down, and doing exactly what Central Valley did, and almost in their territory already.
Again, McCary with the handoff. It loses the football, and it's going to be Central Valley who pounces on it, and the Bears will get the ball once again. Brian Monroe, check that. It looks like it was Brian Monroe, but George Eliason with the recovery.
Wow, what a turn of events right there. As they had a lot of momentum, but it looks like he got one of his own defenders blocked into him. As he's able to, he got a hand on it, popped the football out. Thought his own defender might have created that, but Central Valley gets the ball back, another opportunity.
Hannon looking deep. He's got a man in the end zone, and that's going to fall incomplete. Adam Weisenfels, the MCC's Defensive Player of the Year, with some fantastic coverage.
Not a bad throw there by Tomlinson at all, putting it up there. 50-50 ball. Weston in great position. So a lot of physical contact down there, but no pass interference called because he's actually going for the ball, as you're going to see the replay here. Steps back. Actually a really good throw. 50-50 ball in the field. Great defensive play by Weisenfels.
That was Tomlinson with the toss. 2nd and 10. Chodorowski keeps it up the middle, and he'll pick up about 6 yards, and that'll bring up another 3rd down situation for Central Valley.
This could be another 4-down territory, as if they don't convert here, and they possibly go for it, especially be down as many as they are. So I wouldn't.
Richland showing blitz. Chodorowski with the pitch. Breaks 1 tackle. He has the 1st down. Chodorowski to the 25, and that will move the chains for the Bears.
Good play call there on that option route. Gets it out of his hands a lot sooner than he did before, which almost was a turnover. Chodorowski over there and make a move. Got to be careful with that swim move there, as the Richland likes to create turnovers, and ball security has got to be key.
1st and 10 after the nice run from Hunter Chodorowski. Hannon will run it, and he's going to lose a couple of yards. Hannon had all of his receivers to his left and tried to run right, and no one to block for him there.
It's the formation we saw earlier in the game, and they went to that bubble screen, and I thought they would go to it again, or maybe overthinking things and trying to do too much, and lost some yards there.
2nd and 14, Harper on the jet sweep. Harper feeling the pressure from Stanfield, and he's going to be taken down. Tyler Fishback and Jacob Stanfield in on the tackle, and Central Valley once again losing yardage on that play.
Yeah, just lots of credit to Richland's D-line of staying in their lanes and just working their way upfield and not falling for that motion as he comes across the field, and it's actually a completion as he tosses it quickly in front of him. And now we got a 3rd and long for Central Valley.
3rd and 24. Hannon, play action, calls his own number, and he'll be well short of the 1st down.
I think they're going to keep their, well, as I speak, looks like their punt team is coming out.
Yeah, it's 4th and 17.
17 yards to go from the Richland 32-yard line.
That'd be a tough task to ask of your offense if you're Coach Buckner on 4th and 17. Tomlinson in punt formation. Nice snap, rolls out to his right and gets off a good kick. They let it bounce, and Central Valley is able to make the grab on the 1-foot-yard line.
Wow, what a play. Great special teams play as he rolls to his right, kicks to his left, and downs it within the 1. Awesome.
We'll take a quick break. We're back with more. You're watching the 4A State Semifinals on SWX. We'll take a look at this replay. Dawson Jordan makes the grab and is able to stop himself from going into the end zone. Ooh, that's about as close as it gets. But the official was right on it.
You step on the line at all, it's going to be a touchback, and he's able to, like you said, tiptoe there on the line. And I'm surprised he didn't toss it back to one of his teammates, but now Richland coming out of their own end zone.
Central Valley showing blitz. And they'll keep it on the ground with McCary, who falls forward, maybe picked up a yard.
To the right side for the Bombers.
Trying to give themselves some room there.
George Eliason, Jacob Lewis with the stop for the Bears. Gain of 1 yard on the play for the Bombers.
Now McCary just off the right side, and he picked up maybe a yard. So Richland's still in their own end zone. They were in a situation like this last week, and I remember Jensen went with the hard count and was able to get...
I don't know if there's an equipment issue or what's going on, but McCary coming off the field, and coach is talking to the ref about something. Concussion, maybe a little shaken up, maybe he's got a little cross-eyed there, so safety first nowadays in football, and try not to mess around with that too much, so they're kind of checking him out on the sideline right now. Taking a look at his eyes, see what's going on.
Second and 9 from their own end zone. Jensen will look to throw. He's looking deep. He's got a man, and that pass is incomplete. Sammy Cervantes couldn't control it. A beautiful pass from Cade Jensen, and that's one that Sammy Cervantes is going to wish he had.
Like you said, beautiful throw right at the field, right on the sideline, in stride, right into his hands. And we see the replay there. Just took his eyes out of it for a second, tried to pull it in, was ready to run 99 yards for a touchdown. And you got to catch that first, son.
So after the incompletion, it brings up 3rd and 9 at their own 1. Jensen to throw again, and he fires a rocket to Sanderson, and he is going to be about 2 yards short of the first down marker. So Central Valley's defense does their job, and they force the Bombers to go 3 and out.
Well, Bombers luckily got a little bit of breathing room on this for this punt, but still in a situation where anything can happen, as I've seen lots of long snappers get a little nervous back here in their own end zone and throw the snap over their head. Or
Mendoza gets off a nice punt. Tomlinson will catch it at about the 40. And he's going to lose the football. It's recovered by Central Valley. So the Bears miss what could have been a disaster. And in the meantime, they'll have fantastic starting field position.
Again, Richland doing a good job of just getting after that football. And luckily for CV, able to come up with that recovery. But pretty good field position here, and got to create some points and got to create them soon.
1st and 10, Chodorowski in motion. Hannon will sling it out to his running back. It's incomplete.
That's a tough throw and catch there as he's running almost vertically. I mean, I know it's horizontal, but when you turn and pass, the guy's running straight away from you, and you want to lead him a little upfield, or your momentum's taking you to the sideline. So tough throw there, and unable to convert on that. It looked like he had some blockers if he was able to get that edge.
That's something that Central Valley has really tried to attack, is these short passes to the outside. 2nd and 10. And we're going to have a pre-snap penalty. I think it's going to go against the Bombers.
Before the snap, encroachment on the defense, still 2nd down.
So the 5-yard penalty gives Central Valley 1st and 5 from the Bombers' 32. Excuse me, I think I said 1st and 5, 2nd and 5. And they'll keep it on the ground with Hannon, and he'll pick up about 4 yards on that carry, so it would be 3rd and short. Hannon's a guy who last week ran for nearly 120 yards and 2 touchdowns, and that Richland Bombers defense has done a nice job whenever number 10 is tucked it and ran. So 3rd and a long 1. Hannon will pitch it to Chodorowski, and he's going to be hit near the first down marker. Looks like his momentum is going to give Central Valley a first down, as I believe that's Chodorowski who is slow to get up.
He took a hard hit, actually from his player. Got blocked into him. I'll take another look at it here as he throws the option. Has a little bit of a lane, but his blocker comes and head-to-head contact with his own teammate. As I think he might have gotten that first down easily if it wasn't for his own player. And unfortunately, he's still down.
Well, let's send it down to Kelly Hinseth, who has an update on running back Parker McCary.
Yeah, if you guys saw, he looks like he just hit his head briefly in the end zone, and they called him over, and they were, checking his eyes, having him run up and down the sidelines. But they said he's going to be okay. Just, a matter of taking extra precaution, especially with, you're talking about concussions and everything like that, and the risk that this sport really poses to players. So they were just, checking him, having him run up and down. But he's going to be in on the next. He'll be fine. He'll be in on the next possession. But I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Kelly. And while she was talking, Hunter Chodorowski very slowly got to his feet and is gingerly making his way to the Central Valley sideline. Certainly not what you'd like to see. Chodorowski come into this game with just under 700 yards rushing. He's surpassed that mark, certainly with today. 9 touchdowns, averaging 6 yards per carry. So both running backs in this game a little bit banged up, as you see the ambulance on the other side of the field starting to slowly drive over to the Central Valley sideline. I don't think he's going to make his way over there.
Just repositioning the vehicle.
Yeah. So the officials marked Chodorowski about a foot short of the first down marker. So it's going to be 4th and 1. And Central Valley looks like they'll go for it. Hannon out of the gun with Ryan Harper to his left. He's going to sprint to his left. If he gets to the edge, picks up the first.
Ouch.
And Grant Hannon using his speed on a big 4th down. He needed 1, and he picked up 4.
He was taken down a little awkwardly there at the end as he just gets out in front. Good lead block. Just beats him with speed, enough for the first down, and keep the chains moving. And without Chodorowski, this could be a big loss.
And we're going to have some more movements before the snap. Looks like this one could be against Central Valley.
Snap, false start, left guard, offense, 5 yards. Remains first down.
So under 4 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Central Valley still trailing 28-10 and hoping to come away with some points, but that last play, penalty against them, backs them up 5 yards. That's Harper with the carry, and he's going to be bottled up near the original line, near the line of scrimmage. And Jax Lee and the rest of that interior Bombers defense continues.
I feel like we've had a lot of plays here near the 30-yard line with the whole series before going all the way to 4th down, and with that penalty bringing them back a little bit, Central Valley just can't seem to get forward.
2nd and 15. Hannon will sling it out to Harper. He has a nice block. Trying to get to the edge. Flag on the play. Harper was brought down near the original line of scrimmage, maybe 2 yards past.
We could go back even farther now.
Blocking it back, number 13 on the offense.
So the penalty will go against Micah Mason. And as this Central Valley drive continues to go in the wrong
Block
direction.
it back by the offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay, second down.
Penalties tonight have been killing Central Valley as they move forward, take 2 steps back. Always playing behind the chains. It's not easy when it comes to play calling and what you decide to do. And Richland in these situations have brought in the pressure a few times as they're doing so again.
2nd and 24. They sling it out to Harper, and big Vic Strasser is there with the initial contact, and then the rest of his pals come over and make the tackle, and Harper just had no room to run.
Yeah, they're just great pursuit there by Richland's defense, going sideline to sideline. And I mean, they put pressure on the quarterback up the middle, are able to get sideline to sideline with these Central Valley athletes, and it's not easy to do, and they're playing some good football right now.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 24 after no gain. Hannon again in a passing situation. Richland will rush 4. Hannon looking for Tomlinson, and it falls incomplete. Perriman and Mendoza in on the coverage, and once again Central Valley's offense stalls, and they're going to be forced to punt.
Now 4th and 24 yards to go.
Central Valley looking to pin them deep just like they did last time.
Austin Tomlinson on the punt for CV. Adam Weisenfeld back.
So Tomlinson into punt, and Weisenfeld standing at his own 10. Tomlinson, this one a short kick. It will bounce, and this time it'll go into the end zone for a touchback.
Good punt by him, and it will convert as the guy was making sure that Wiseman didn't pick the ball up and run, which is a smart move, but at the same time, he had an opportunity to down that ball within the 5-yard line. But they'll get the ball here on the 20-yard line. Is better field position for Richland this time, so give them more opportunities to open up their playbook a little bit more. And I suspect they still continue to try to pound the ball and take as much time off the clock as they can with the 18-point lead here in the end of the 3rd quarter.
Oh, it's funny you say that. I mean, even when it is a down and distance where it looks like they would run the ball,
you're right.
They take their shot downfield. Well, here's Jared Whitby with Jensen lined up as a receiver. Whitby will take the snap, and he will keep it himself. And he's going to get a nice chunk of yardage on 1st down. So the Bombers going with that jumbo package that they like to call it, that they typically use on 3rd and 4th situations. And on 1st and 10, they picked up 8 yards.
Another good play call. They had their quarterback in there, but like you said, lined up top as a receiver, and they're doing the same thing here.
And this time, Whitby will line up with McCary to his right. And he'll keep it again. Whitby is going to fall forward and pick up the 1st down. So with under a minute and a half remaining in the 3rd quarter, you called it. Richland going with that big package and selecting to keep the ball on the ground and just take time off the clock.
Yeah, even when you know the run is coming and you have your quarterback lined up top and running backs in the back, they just have numbers. And right now they're doing it with their QB, but keeping both those guys back there as well. Give them another look here.
Jensen will take the snap and gives it to Parker McCary. And McCary getting a nice push from his offensive line. He'll be stood up. Still no whistle.
A little rugby scrub
yeah.
down there.
He was finally taken down about 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. So maybe the toughest 3 yards Parker McCary has got on the ground this afternoon.
Well, Central Valley is going to start trying to stand them in and come in with that 2nd player and really try to strip that ball and create some turnovers here.
30 seconds left in the 3rd. Jensen will drop back, throws deep, has a man. That's Josh Mendoza who makes the grab. Mendoza will be taken down at about the 15-yard line. And we're going to get a late flag. But just when you think the Bombers are trying to run the clock out, they hit you deep.
That's exactly what the run game does, though. It brings everybody down a little bit tighter and creates opportunities to take shots down the field. And Richland is definitely not scared to do that, as they have those athletes out front. And he had about
After the play,
steps on him.
unsportsmanlike, number 23, Green, 15 yards from the end of the run.
So it's going to be a penalty against Josh Mendoza, who made the grab. Coach Neidhold and the Richland fans are not very happy about it at all. Another great pass by Jensen.
Yeah, down the field, and he's able to kind of adjust a little bit. And if he would have thrown it a little bit farther upfield, he would have been running into the end zone. Nonetheless, a huge play for Richland and getting an unsportsmanlike conduct for the first down signal. And it didn't seem to be directed at another player. But I guess you can't do that.
You got called for the unsportsmanlike penalty, so that'll back him up with the clock running. Jensen will keep it himself. Kate Jensen sheds a tackle, and Jensen's going to slide inside the 15. And the Richland Bombers sideline erupts, seeing their quarterback make a play like that.
Well, he made a nice move there, and it's kind of a hesitation there as he's the keeper all the way, and as he hesitates right there, the fans like what they see, and Smart gets down. Central Valley hitting their own guys there as he slides for a first down.
Looks like there's an injured Bear. Tough to see a number. But with 5 seconds remaining in the third quarter, how about that run from Richland's senior quarterback, the MCC's Offensive Player of the Year, known for being a gunslinger, but uses his legs to pick up a great chunk of yardage there. And you can see Coach Neidhold still not happy with that last call against his receiver, Josh Mendoza.
Well, they used to talk about the NFL being the no fun league, the NFL no fun league, and being tight when it comes to celebrating, and not them changing the rules a little bit. So you've seen a good amount of celebrations there this year on the field, and still calling it tight here in high school football as a first down signal towards the crowd is apparently not acceptable. I don't know if that's kind of one of those calls that varies ref to ref. You know, how are you going to call it tonight? But our head judge not going to stand for that, apparently, and got to make that tough call sometimes.
That's Wyatt Wickham, the big defensive tackle for Central Valley, who is very slowly making his way back to the Central Valley sideline.
He's one of their guys, especially offensively, that they like to run behind, and big part of this team is we're seeing a couple of players from Central Valley, Chadarowski and now Wickham, hobble off the sideline. We hope for the best and can get back on this field.
And with that, time will run out on the third quarter. Richland will head to the fourth quarter with a 28-10 lead. We'll be back with more right after this. The Richland Bombers are 1 quarter away from heading back to the 4A state championship at the Tacoma Dome. That, of course, is said, unless if CV can't make a late game comeback here, certainly have the firepower to do so, but they find themselves in a tough situation right now. On first down, Jensen will sling one out, and that one is nearly caught, I think, by Josh Mendoza. The pass was thrown behind him, and he almost hauled that in with one hand.
That would have been a spectacular catch as it was thrown behind him. Going almost full speed. He puts on the brakes, reaches his right hand out there, almost sticks. Tips it back to him. Almost allowed an interception as well, but That was a tremendous effort.
So 2nd and 10 from the 15. McCary is going to be hit immediately, and he's going to lose a couple of yards. So that'll bring up a 3rd and long situation for the Bombers offense, as Adam Weisenfels and Cody Sanderson check back in.
Richland's done a good job of converting on these 3rd downs, and CV needs to get another stop here and hold them at least to a field goal attempt if they're going to have any opportunity at making some sort of comeback.
Third and long. Jensen will toss one up to the end zone for Cervantes, who makes the grab. Sammy Cervantes, touchdown Bombers. Number 24 atones for that drop pass in the 3rd quarter and comes up with a huge grab here in the 4th to extend the Bombers' lead.
What a great catch here. We'll see the replay coming right at you here. This is a great ball. Just his athletic ability jumping up, getting that ball almost at his highest point, getting both feet down as well, and those strong hands to hold as you see the extra point up and good, extending their lead a little bit more in this 4th quarter.
35-10 in favor of Richland. Another look. Jensen with another great pass downfield. Puts it where really only his guy can come down with it.
There's just so much trust in his receivers to throw the ball up there time after time. Even when they do drop a ball, they're able to keep their guys' confidence up and say, hey, man, I'm not going to stop coming at you. Be ready for when we do. I'm going to put the ball up there. You just go and get it. As there was 2 Central Valley defenders back there and didn't stop them from taking a shot into the end zone. And on another 3rd and long, and CV's just being taken advantage of on these big plays tonight. Chris is doing a great job and showing their athleticism here today.
They really have weapons all over the field on both sides of the ball. It seems like every week it's somebody new that's making big plays for this Bombers team, as they take a 25-point lead here with just over 11 minutes remaining in the game. Weisenfels will kick this one deep to Austin Tomlinson. Tomlinson will make it just short of the 30-yard line. So, Raul, if you're Coach Butner, season's on the line now. I mean, you got to start making plays and taking shots downfield, right?
I mean, there's not much you can do. You're basically playing against the clock now, and you got to move the sticks because that's going to stop the clock. You got to pass it because if you don't make a completion, that stops the clock as well. And I mean, they are known to run the ball quite a bit, and right now they'll start putting it in the air.
They sling one out to Ryan Harper. On 1st down, looks like they'll pick up 10 yards.
Tyler Fishback with the tackle for the Bombers.
That's exactly what they did there. They moved the chains, stopped the clock for a second, get the ball set, not huddle up, run that quick offense. See if they can get a quick score here. You almost want to score before you get in the red zone because that's when Richland gets a little tough. So if you can score before you get there on some sort of big play, that would be ideal.
So they're going to mark him about a yard short of the 1st down. Like we saw last week at Gonzaga Prep, the chains hadn't moved like it was a first. And now they have moved back. It looks like he had picked up 10. The officials are going to say it was a gain of 9.
Well, either way, fortunate enough for Central Valley, they stop the clock and they'll wind it here as they're set already. They won't lose too much time.
2nd and 1. They'll keep it on the ground with Harper. Harper keeps his legs pumping, and he'll pick up about 6 yards.
Ryan Harper with the carry for CV on the play.
I'm interested to see if Richland continues to play as aggressive as they did, or make sure that they don't get beat deep and play more of a deep cover 2, soft prevent, or if they will continue to blitz and try to put pressure on this QB.
This time Hannon will call his own number, and Victor Strasser is going to take him down.
With the carry for the Bears. Victor Strasser with a tackle for the Bombers.
Strasser's family must have hosted Thanksgiving this year because he has a large cheering section sitting right in front of us.
Well, it'd be a great excuse to get together, and people come out of town and get together, enjoy Thanksgiving, and come watch their family play some football.
They're certainly having fun. That pass is complete to Micah Mason. Mason has the lone touchdown for Central Valley, and he gets up limping just a little bit.
Fishback with a tackle for the Bombers.
Yeah, it looks like he was just kind of rolled up on a little bit in that knee, but he's toughing it out, staying out there.
1st and 10 from the 40. Hannon will throw this one outside to Tomlinson, and he's hit immediately. Josh Mendoza in on the tackle, the senior captain for the Bombers. Makes another nice play on defense.
Yeah, going to play on the defense side of the ball there. Is able to shed that tackle from Corey Quinn. That's not easy to do. Because if he doesn't make that tackle, it looked like he had a little bit more room to run.
Picked up a yard, 2nd and 9. Hannon feeling the pressure. He just tosses one up. That was Casey Perriman who was in on Hannon, and the pass falls incomplete.
There, answers my question right there. Is they're going to continue to be aggressive and bring both linebackers, as they've been calling a good game tonight and giving Grant Hannon nothing but fits.
Yeah, looked like they almost brought the house that last play. That pocket collapsed almost immediately. 3rd and 9. Again, Richland with the blitz, and Hannon will toss this one up, and it'll fall incomplete once again. Grant Hannon just with no time to throw here in the 4th quarter.
Well, that one was a little bit designed. You know you're going to have pressure on the screenplay as the lineman release, let the D-line go. But they're just creating these levels on the defensive line. Some guys creating pressure, some guys sitting back, and was able to sniff that screenplay out and not give it any time for setup.
4th and 9. Hannon steps up in the pocket, escapes a tackle, now under pressure. He'll toss one up, and Grant Hannon took a huge hit as he made that pass. It falls incomplete, and Central Valley turns it over on downs.
Yeah, that shows no quitting Hannon, as he was trying to make something out of nothing, and he knows he's going to get hit, and he sure does get hit by a couple guys there, and that couldn't have felt good. And Richland showing some good sportsmanship, helping him up, and kind of sending a statement right now. This mid-4th quarter here, still playing hard on both sides of the ball.
So 1st and 10. Looks like they're back with that jumbo package. Direct snap to Whitby, and he's going to be hit immediately.
Whitby with the carry for the Bombers.
That was the big man, Tristan Kelly, in on the tackle. 6'3", 320 pounds.
Finn with the stop for the Bears.
Typically lines up at center, but Coach Butner deciding this might be a good time to put him in on defense.
It's a big boy.
6'3", 320. That's large human. Again, Whitby with the carry, and we're going to have a flag on the play.
Jared Whitby with the carry for the Bombers. Penalty flags on the way. Corey Quinn with the stop for CV.
Holding on the offense, number 71. Penalty is 10 yards to the spot of the foul. Replay 2nd down.
Well, up 35-10 with just over 8 minutes remaining in the game. Richland's going to face a 2nd and long, and Raul, you think that they're going to toss this one deep?
I don't know. It's tough because they're playing the clock right now too. So I wouldn't be surprised if they kept it on the ground here. But again, 2 weapons, both sides of the ball. Take your pick. Move the safeties with your eyes. Throw it the other way.
They will throw it. Jensen tosses one up, and that one's complete to Mendoza. Not much of a gain on the play. Nice throw there by Kate Jensen. That's one of those throws that's tougher than it looks, rolling to your left and having to throw back to your right.
Well, it looked like he was running a kind of an inside route, almost like a slant, instead of going deep here. So maybe they were trying to go to the right, maybe come back over the field, but he's forced out of the pocket. He's able to come up with a completion still, which is good because that keeps the clock moving instead of throwing it away, just like a run play.
3rd and 21. They'll keep it on the ground with Whitby. He throws a stiff arm, another stiff arm, and Whitby is going to get back to the original line of scrimmage. So about a gain of 11 on the carry, and maybe more importantly for the Bombers, he stayed in bounds, but they will be forced to kick.
Whitby running some tough stiff arm there. Another stiff arm. 2 in a row, showing his ability to stay on his feet, and that's why they like kind of switching it up between Whitby and
Parker McCary.
Parker McCary.
So Josh Mendoza is going to let the play clock run all the way down to 3, and they're going to fake it. Mendoza's going to keep it himself, and he's going to pick up the first down. How about that play call? Mendoza across the 40. So Coach Neidhold calls the fake punt with his team up by 25 in the 4th quarter. And that was just a straight play call to Mendoza.
Unexpected. Why not? Keep the clock moving and let's get away from this game as soon as we can. At the same time, now they showed it going into the state championship. So the team is going to kind of scheme for that a little bit. They had an opportunity to save that play.
That's a good point.
But you got to win.
Whitby up the gut, shedding tacklers. Jared Whitby across the 20. He's going to fall forward. Jared Whitby picking up 17 on 1st down.
This kid is tough, and he's shedding tackles left and right. And could be the case where Central Valley is trying to stand him up and really go for the ball instead of make the quick tackle, and everyone kind of stripping at that ball. As you can see here, number 26 and number 22 really punching at it.
So more time will run off the clock. And it appears, barring a miracle, that the Bombers are going to head to the Tacoma Dome for the 2nd straight year. This time they'll keep it on the ground with McCary. Maybe picked up a yard. And if you ask this Bomber squad, they'll tell you they have some unfinished business at that dome. Of course, last year they came up just short in the title game against Camas, a team that Central Valley actually knocked off in the playoffs a few weeks ago.
Yeah, going to the state championship is a feat in itself, and you got to be happy, and you try to look at that positive, but it's almost worse losing in the state championship than it is early in the playoffs. It hurts, it stings, but it gives you some more positive encouragement to get back there and use that as fuel for your fire. And they've been doing it all season long, and it's looking like they're going to have another trip to the Tacoma Dome here and face the winner of Sumner and Woodinville.
And that should be a fantastic game. 2 great teams. On that last play was Whitby, who was taken down by Jacob Lewis. No gain on the play. 3rd and 9 for the Bombers. And you mentioned Woodinville has basically been ranked #1 for most of the year. Jensen to throw to the end zone, and it's caught by Sammy Cervantes. Touchdown, Bombers. So the fake punt pays off, and the Bombers add another 6 to the scoreboard.
Sammy Cervantes, just throw it up to me. I'll go get it. That's exactly what he does here. Another high point there, using his size and his abilities to hop over number 6 there. Dawson Jordan is a 5'8". Great catch.
Extra point is good. 42-10. The Bombers in control here late in the game. It's been all Bombers all day. We're back after a break. Pretty good shot of Cade Jensen and Ryan Piper, 2 best of friends. We actually had them on. They actually made a trip to the studio earlier this week. And those 2 certainly have big personalities.
And both of them making some big plays tonight, especially quarterback there, and he's thrown over 3,000 yards this season. Been leading this team to an undefeated season.
Connor Caffrey with room to run on the right side. He'll try to cut back, and he's going to be taken down across the 45-yard line. So with 3:44 left is where Central Valley will take over.
Central Valley going to try to end here on a positive note of some sort. And again, they've been struggling to get points on the board, as if it wasn't for that late touchdown, they'd only have 3 points on.
Hannon to Tomlinson, who's taken down by Nate Mitchell.
Well, Central Valley having a tough time today, but what a season for them. As they were the best in Spokane, and Richland has ran through all of Spokane with them beating Meade, Gonzaga Prep. Now looking to take care of Central Valley here.
That long pass was complete to Jace Edwards. Central Valley came into this game on an 11-game win streak. They lost week 1 to a very good Coeur d'Alene team, who I know played for a state title in Idaho. And Central Valley battled a lot of injuries in that game, too. And 1st and 10, Hannon looking for his receiver, Mason. We're going to have a flag on the play. That was Matheson in on the coverage.
It almost could be called offense pass interference, as he became the defender because he threw so far inside that he had to stop it from being intercepted. Pulled on his arm.
Offensive pass interference, number 13 on the offense.
It's just been one of those days for Central Valley. You're going to see a replay there coming late into your screen. He's breaking that ball up as Richland defender had an opportunity to intercept it.
And this is a Central Valley team that, unfortunately for them, they've been in this position now 3 straight years, with their season ending against the Bombers in a pretty tough fashion.
Looks like they have their number as of late.
And of course, this is the Bombers team that we've talked about really all season long. They made it to the state title game last year, and had a very large majority of last year's team return this season. And we have seen those key players from last year's team come into this year hungry and just with almost like revenge on the minds. That pass is incomplete. And it looks like they're going to get a good chance to go back to the Tacoma Dome and have another shot at a state title.
They definitely have the players to do it, as you exactly stated last year, as a lot of these players have that experience. And I mean, I think that could be huge going into not only games like this, but a state championship.
That pass incomplete again.
Again, Central Valley playing so far behind the sticks. The playbook shrinks a little bit, as normally they're gaining 3, 4, 5 yards each and every play and put themselves in good situations. And tonight they've just been killing themselves with penalties. And got to give Richland credit as well of putting tons of pressure on their QB today.
3rd and 25. And we'll toss one deep. And again, it'll fall incomplete.
Grant Hemmons' pass is incomplete. Intended for Jace Edwards. Drew Days with the coverage for the Bombers.
But certainly not a season to hang your hat on if you're, or I guess a season they should not feel bad about at all. Fantastic year. How about Grant Hannon? I mean, he came out of fall camp as their number 2 quarterback, and week 1, their top guy went down with an injury as he completes that one to Tomlinson, who's going to be brought down short of the first down. And he came in, I think, in the second half of that Coeur d'Alene game and took the reins from there and had himself a fantastic season. They finally knocked off Gonzaga Prep, winning the GSL title this year.
Yeah, heck of a season for them. Like you said, Grant Hannon not expected to take the full-time role, as they were going to run a dual quarterback system, as he was great on his feet, but has stepped up and showed his ability to throw as well, as he was about 65% completion rate, ran for a lot of yards, threw for some touchdowns, did a lot of great things. And got to tip your hats off to these seniors here at Central Valley and what they've done this year. And I know it stings and it's going to be tough, and you got to remember all the positives.
And we're going to have a penalty. It's going to be a delay of game penalty against Richland. It looks like we got a lot of the backups in for Richland. And as a reminder, coming up this afternoon at 4:30, right here on SWX, make sure to tune in to the Apple Cup pregame show. Be live from Mountain Lake.
Apple Cup going to be a good game this year, as both teams have been very competitive. So should be a fun one. UW has had their number, like Richland has had CV's number in the last few years.
You and I were just talking off camera about tonight's game and how there's not a single player on the Washington State roster who has a win against the Huskies.
That's got to be tough as your in-state rival, and you not being a part of any of those Apple Cup wins, as that's one game they have circled on their calendar every single year.
Well, keep it on the ground. I think that was Sagan McDuff with the carry. And there's Parker McCary. And we hadn't really seen him much since he went out earlier in the half. But he looks to be in good spirits right now.
Yeah, he had a few carries there and was able to get some tough yards. But I think smartly maybe not call his number quite as much and not put his player in any situation that he's unable to play next week. So with the lead that they did have, they were able to hand their ball off to some of their other forces.
It's Andrew Daves in that quarterback. And Daves will keep it himself. He's got some room to run. Daves will
Drew Daves with the carry around the left side for the Bombers.
Be taken down just short of the first down marker. And that'll bring up 4th down with under a minute to go here.
They're going to run this play clock all the way down. They'll run it 25 seconds more off the clock here, and possibly even take a timeout right before
2 yards to go for the Bombers.
they snap it.
They're on 29-yard line.
As the Richland student section is chanting "On to State." Under 30 to play. On 4th down, Daves will throw it deep, and it's caught.
And a good catch at that. Good throw, good catch.
Caught by Brandon Ekstrom with 15 seconds left.
Look at the Brandon Extra coming down with the catch in the semifinal game as a senior.
Great throw.
Great catch, too. I love it when these guys have been putting in work all year long and helping this team, and you just got so many great players. It's hard to kind of see the field all the time, and your players can come out there and make some catches and have some experience. It's always fun, and Richland celebrating now.
For the 2nd straight year, the Richland Bombers booked their ticket to the Tacoma Dome. They will play for the 4A state championship next week against either Woodinville or Sumner. It should be a fantastic game. How about this Richland senior class? They're going to finish their career as Bombers back in the Dome as they take down Central Valley 42-10. And what a game it was for Richland this afternoon. They really controlled the game all the way through.
To put up 42 points on a team like this that has been allowing teams, shut out Skyline last week. I mean, it's very, very impressive. And right now, I expect there to be another good game. And maybe they've been a little overlooked by Woodinville or Sumner. We'll see. If they were overlooked at all before, they're going to be taken seriously after this game.
So the Bombers are going to celebrate with their student section as they improve to a perfect 13-0 on the season.
If they do go and take the crown and be their first undefeated season ever in Bombers history, which winning state is an accomplishment in itself, but you go undefeated, it's a great thing.
And how about that shot right there? This Bombers team, they are excited to head back to Tacoma, but they know they still have a little bit of work to do in order to bring back their first state title since 1999.
The WIAA commends each team for their athletic achievements as well as their sportsmanship today. Congratulations to the Central Valley Bears on a tremendous season and finishing in 3rd place in the 4A division. And congratulations to your Richland Bombers.
So the Bombers win it 42-10. They take care of business. Kate Jensen finishes with 5 touchdown passes. 2 to Sammy Cervantes, 1 to Ryan Piper, another to Adam Weisenfels and Cody Sanderson, as Jensen and his football team continue to celebrate down on the field. We're going to see if we can grab Coach Neidhold. So the Bombers will book their ticket, Raul, to Tacoma next week. And
they booked it in the first half and solidified it in the second half as this team kind of dominated all game long. And credit to them and their coaches, and came out with a great game plan. And again, facing G Prep, one of the better teams in the state over in Spokane, with a completely different offense, as that was a tough game for them. Creating a turnover to finish G Prep and coming against a battle-tested Central Valley, and was able to just put up 42 points on them and hold them to 10 points. And could have been 3 points, but they gave up that touchdown right before halftime. It was kind of a tip ball there, and that was Central Valley's only touchdown of the game. And just unbelievable showing by Richland today. I'm very impressed.
Well, let's go down to the field where Kelly Hinseth is joined by senior Ryan Piper.
Yeah, Rob, we're just talking about what a great win. Ryan, this team went over to Skyline last week and beat them 41-0. How big of a statement is it for your team to do what you did on the field today?
I think this shows everyone in the state that the Bombers are for real, and we're back for vengeance. We're excited to be back, and we got something to prove.
I was going to say, you got some unfinished business at the Tacoma Dome. I mean, what does it mean to be able to punch your ticket back there?
I mean, second chances, everyone loves those, so I'm excited. Another chance to go win and get in a ring. That's all I care about. That's all I want right now.
Yeah, you guys are not a team that you get 3 and out on the first drive, but nothing really does, if anything, shake this team. You guys kind of just keep trucking along.
That's what I love about this team. We're fearless. 3 and out, yeah, we're a little scared. Come out the next drive, and we take care of business the whole rest of the game. And I just love these guys, and I'm excited to see what we can do next week.
Awesome, Ryan. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys can see him next week. Thanks for joining us.
Go Bombers.
All right, I'll send it back to you guys.
Well, congratulations to Ryan Piper, one of those many seniors who was a key part of last year's team, and now him and his senior buddies are headed back to the west side of the state to play for a 4A state championship, and that'll be next Saturday night at 7:30. And you can bet the Richland faithful, I'm sure, are now quickly booking their hotel rooms. And check out that party going down on the field. They are having a fantastic time here at Edgar Brown Stadium as the home team is headed to Tacoma. Let's go back down to the field with Kelly Hinseth.
All right, well, we're slowly getting the players one by one. Now I'm joined by Cade Jensen. Cade, first of all, going back to the Tacoma Dome, how does it feel in this moment right now?
It feels great, but even for how excited we are out there, we know we still got one more game to go, and we know Woodinville or Sumner is going to give us a big test.
Yeah. So we were talking earlier about, you got sacked twice early on through an interception, but you go out there and are just able to make big plays like that. Does anything shake you?
I've learned to not play fearlessly, or to play fearlessly, sorry. But, if you're playing, trying not to throw an interception, the game's not going to go very well for you. So, I know I got to keep making plays out there for my team, and I know that'll give us the best chance to win.
This is a Central Valley squad that went out last week, pitched a shutout against Skyline. What does it say about your Richland Bombers to do what you did on the field today?
Shows how talented we are. We talked about it in the winter, talked about it in the spring, and we knew we were going to have a great team, and it's just so nice to prove it to the world.
How fun is it going to be able to get back to the Tacoma Dome next week?
It'll be amazing, but we're, like I said earlier, we're looking to win it this time, and anything short of that will be a little bit disappointing.
Well, congratulations, Cade. Really appreciate it. We'll look forward to see you guys next week. I think we got Coach coming over here now. Well, Coach, let's talk about that quarterback of yours. He gets sacked twice early on, throws an interception, but he goes out and he makes those big plays. Is there anything, if anything, that shakes Cade Jensen?
No. He's that kind of kid. He's a competitor. He understands football, and you're going to get sacked every now and then, and you just got to get back in there and keep playing. It's a tribute to Josh Jelnick, our offensive coordinator, and Tom Moore and Tyler Thomas. Is a three-headed monster there coaching Cade, and he's been a quick study, and he just understands what's going on.
This Central Valley team, last week they pitched a shutout over Skyline. I mean, what does it say about your team to do what you did on the field today against them?
Well, I don't know. It means we get to play another Monday. If we get Monday, we're playing for the state title next week, and you know, we're fortunate. I love this group of kids. They love playing for Richland, and they've represented our program and our high school the last 3 years. You know, just been a quality kids, and we're real lucky. We'll get back to work on Monday, and we'll go over there and play. See what happens.
Yeah. Last question. You, how does it feel? You got some unfinished business at the Tacoma Dome, as you guys said early on. How does it feel to be able to get back there and maybe make it right this time?
Well, these kids, this group's had their heart broken twice. 2 years ago, right here against Gonzaga Prep. Last year over in Tacoma, they were ahead in those games in fourth quarter both times, and we didn't even have to talk about it when we started this thing up. When you have your heart broken like that, and you got one more shot at it, just watch. I don't know. Maybe this time we'll get it. We'll see. We're going to go over there and play, whoever we play.
Absolutely. Well, you certainly put on a show today. Congratulations, Coach. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Rob, that'll do it for me down here, but...
So, the Richland Bombers headed back to the Dome, and what a run they have been on all season. Tough ending for Central Valley as they come up just short in the semifinal game. But really, this game was controlled by the Bombers from the opening kickoff until the last seconds ticked off the clock.
Both sides of the ball, Richland did a great job putting points on the board, stopping a tough Central Valley offense, holding them to 10 points. Really a field goal without that tip ball, touchdown. Richland is going to be a tough team to beat over in the Tacoma Dome against either Sumner or Woodinville next week.
42-10 your final score. For my partner, Raul V. Hill and Kelly Inseth, I'm Rob Jesselson. Thanks so much for watching.